Imagine three Singaporeans sitting at the same desk on the same day. Same degree from the same university, same starting salary of $4,500 a month, same HDB flat, same commute, same hawker center downstairs. They all save the same $300 to $500 every month. 35 years from now, one of them will be checking their bank balance before agreeing to a family dinner. One will retire comfortably and never worry about medical bills. And one will have built a machine that pays them more money every single month than their old salary ever did. The difference between these three lives is not income. It is not luck. It is one decision made in their 20s about where to put the money they already saved. Here is what each path actually looks like. The first investor takes the safe road. At 25, earning $4,500 a month, they do what feels responsible. They build 3 months of expenses in a high-interest savings account, and then they keep building. Everything above that buffer goes into more savings accounts, Singapore savings bonds, and fixed deposits. The UOB stash account pays 2% a year, no conditions. Singapore savings bonds issued in July 2026 average 2.11% annually over 10 years. Fixed deposits at Maybank offer 1.45% for a 9-month lock. These feel safe. They are government-backed. The money is always there when they check the balance. That reliability feels like intelligence. But here is what the math says. After 10 years of putting $300 a month into savings instruments averaging 2%, the first investor has accumulated around $40,000 in personal savings. Their compulsory CPF contributions at 37% of their $4,500 salary have been flowing in every month, building a total CPF balance across all accounts of approximately $100,000. Total at 35, $140,000. They feel secure. Then they look at what inflation has done in the same decade. Singapore's official inflation rate ran at around 2 to 2.5% annually. The real purchasing power of every dollar sitting in a 2% account barely moved. They saved every month. They did everything right. And their money grew just enough to stand still. At 45, their personal savings reach roughly $90,000. And their CPF has grown to around $280,000, mostly sitting in their ordinary account after years of mortgage repayments. Total, $370,000. But the ordinary account earns only 2.5%. The portion that could have been compounding at 4% in the special account was never voluntarily topped up. A decade of compounding advantage, quietly uncollected. At 65, the conservative investor has accumulated perhaps $150,000 to $180,000 in personal savings, plus a CPF life payout based on whatever retirement sum they manage to set aside. If they hit the full retirement sum, they draw $1,780 a month for life. Combined with their savings, they can meet basic expenses. The Lee Kuan Yew School of Public Policy found that a single elderly Singaporean needs at least $1,492 a month just for basic needs. They clear that floor. There is no room for surprises. There is no travel budget. There is no cushion for a medical bill that their MediShield does not fully cover. Security became a ceiling rather than a foundation. The second investor takes the balanced path. Same starting conditions. Same $4,500 a month at 25. But this person understands one thing the conservative investor does not. 2% annual returns after 2% inflation is not growing. It is standing still while your future shrinks. They keep 3 months of expenses, roughly $13,000 to $14,000, in a high-interest savings account as a genuine emergency fund. Everything above that goes to work. $400 a month flows into a regular savings plan through Interactive Brokers or Tiger Brokers, buying CSPX, the iShares Core S&P 500 UCIT SETF, domiciled in Ireland, at a total expense ratio of 0.07% per year. They choose CSPX specifically, not VOO or SPY, because as a Singapore investor, they pay 30% dividend withholding tax on US domiciled ETFs. CSPX, under the Ireland-US tax treaty, pays 15% instead. Same 503 companies. Same index. Half the tax drag on dividends. And because Singapore has no capital gains tax, every dollar of price appreciation comes back to them in full. On top of this, they voluntarily top up their CPF special account by $500 a month under the Retirement Sum Topping Up Scheme. That is $6,000 a year, qualifying for income tax relief at their marginal rate, while the money earns a government-guaranteed 4% annually inside their special account, plus an additional 1% on the first $60,000 of combined CPF balances. For the first years of building, they are effectively earning 5% on their most conservative retirement allocation, tax-advantaged, with zero counterparty risk. At 35, their ETF portfolio has grown to approximately $73,000. Their SA top-ups have accumulated another $70,000 at 4%. Their compulsory CPF sits at around $120,000. Total at 35, $265,000. That is a $125,000 gap over the conservative investor from the same income in 10 years. By 45, the moderate investor has been increasing their monthly ETF contribution gradually as their salary has grown. They are now putting in $600 a month. Their ETF portfolio is approximately $310,000. Their CPF retirement savings, compulsory plus voluntary, sit at around $550,000. Total, $860,000. They have options they did not expect to have at this stage. They could reduce their working hours. They could make career choices based on what they want rather than what pays most. That kind of optionality does not come from earning more. It comes from investing earlier and consistently. At 65, the moderate investor holds an ETF and REIT portfolio worth between $1.1 and $1.4 million. Their CPF life payout at the full retirement sum provides $1,780 a month, guaranteed for life. Dividend income from Singapore REITs, where the iEdge SREIT Leaders ETF currently offers a forward yield of 5.74%, adds another $2,000 to $3,000 monthly, depending on how much they allocated. Total monthly income in retirement, between $3,500 and $5,000. They travel once or twice a year. They help their children without feeling it. They do not check their account balance before agreeing to dinner. The third investor takes the aggressive path. Same starting point, $4,500 a month, 25 years old. But this person makes one decision that changes everything. They treat time as the rarest and most valuable resource they will ever have, and they refuse to waste it. In the first month of their first job, they open an SRS account and begin contributing. Singaporean citizens can contribute up to $15,300 annually to the supplementary retirement scheme. Every dollar contributed reduces their chargeable income at their marginal tax rate. The money then grows tax-free inside SRS and can be invested in ETFs, Singapore savings bonds, or REITs within the account. At withdrawal, after the statutory retirement age, only 50% of withdrawals are counted as income for tax purposes, dramatically reducing the effective tax rate. This is a triple tax advantage that most Singaporeans never use because nobody explained it to them at 25. They also max out their RSTU top-up to their CPF special account, $8,000 a year, collecting $8,000 of immediate income tax relief while compounding at 4 to 5% guaranteed. And they invest $500 a month into CSPX from the start, scaling up to $800 at 30 and $1,200 at 35 as their salary grows. Here is the behavior that defines this investor above everything else. When markets fall, they do not sell. When their portfolio drops 15% in a difficult quarter, they buy more. They understand that a market crash is a sale on every future dollar of returns, and that the Straits Times Index crossing 5,000 points in 2026 was built on the backs of investors who bought and held through every scare of the previous decade. At 35, the aggressive investor has an ETF portfolio of approximately $155,000. Their CPF and SA balances, compulsory plus maximum top-ups, sit at around $250,000. They have an SRS account with growing balances. Total, around $405,000. At 45, something shifts that no number fully captures. Their ETF portfolio, having grown at roughly 9% annually, while their contributions scaled up, stands at approximately $800,000. Their CPF and retirement balances add another $750,000. Total, $1.5 million. But here is the tipping point. At a 9% annualized return on $800,000, their portfolio is generating approximately $72,000 of growth and income per year, which is $6,000 per month. That is more than their starting salary. At 45, their money is now earning more than their job paid them at 25. The psychological shift that comes with that is permanent. You stop working because you must and start working because you choose to. That choice is one of the most undervalued forms of wealth any Singaporean can build. At 65, the aggressive investor holds a diversified ETF and REIT portfolio worth between $3.5 and $5 million. Their CPF life payout at the enhanced retirement sum of $440,800 delivers between $3,180 and $3,440 a month, guaranteed for life. Passive income from their portfolio adds another $10,000 to $15,000 monthly at a conservative 4 to 5% yield. Total monthly retirement income between $13,000 and $18,000. They did not win the lottery. They did not inherit money. They earned the same $4,500 starting salary and saved the same $500 a month in their 20s. The only thing that changed was where they put it and how long they left it alone. Now here's the part that nobody tells you. All three of these investors saved every month. All three showed discipline. All three lived within their means. The conservative investor did not fail because they lacked effort. They failed because they optimized for the feeling of safety rather than for the actual outcome. And those two things are not the same at all. The path that feels the most dangerous, owning a globally diversified equity ETF that will drop 20% in some years and recover in others, is not actually the most dangerous path for a 25-year-old with 40 years ahead of them. The most dangerous path is sitting in a savings account earning 2% while inflation runs at 2% and your future compounds at 0. And the advantage unique to Singapore that makes the aggressive path even more powerful than its Australian equivalent. There is no capital gains tax here. The 30% dividend withholding tax on US ETFs drops to 15% with an Irish domiciled fund. CPF life payouts attract zero income tax. SRS withdrawals are 50% excluded from income. The tax structure in Singapore actively rewards the investor who understands and uses it. Here is what to do today. Log into your CPF account and check how much of your balance is sitting in your ordinary account, earning 2.5%, versus your special account earning 4%. If you have not made a voluntary top-up to your special account in the past 12 months, do it before the end of this year and collect the tax relief. Open a regular savings plan with even $100 a month into CSPX or VWRA. You do not need to time the market. You need to start. And the next time the market falls and every headline tells you something is broken, remember that the aggressive investor we just watched built $5 million by 65 did exactly one thing during every downturn. They bought more. Which investor are you becoming right now? Because that question does not belong to tomorrow, it belongs to today. If this video gave you clarity, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I will see you in the next one.